Here we go.
Hello guys, I'm CBMF Productions, and welcome back to DC Film Retrospective. Today's film is the second installment of the DCEU, and it's one of the more divisive films in this universe and comic book films of recent years. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The film was originally developed as a straight sequel to Man of Steel, being created right after the first one came out, but over the course of the next year, the film was slowly morphed into a Batman vs Superman film, which I've talked about in previous videos so I won't elaborate much on it here, but Snyder did want to introduce Batman in the sequel, and Ben Affleck was cast in the role, despite saying previously he would never put on the tights again after Daredevil. Despite he did play George Reeves in Superman Hollywoodland, he said he wouldn't do a superhero role again. But after hearing the pitch of the film from Snyder and his version of Batman, he was very interested in where this could go. It did receive a lot of backlash when it was announced, almost the casting of Jesse Eisenberg and Gal Gadot, but by the time the movie came out, it wasn't something people complained about, at least in Affleck's and Gadot's cases. Snyder announced the film in 2014 as a BVS movie, with him and Gore writing the script, despite Gore saying back in 2006 that BVS film was where to go to when you have no ideas left in the franchise. But I guess he changed his mind? Anyways, the film was shot in 2014 and was intended to be released the next year, but ended up getting pushed back to May 2016. But a few months later, Marvel announced that Captain America Civil War would be released on the same day, so Warner Bros. Backed down and moved it up to late March. The film got released and was critically panned, and was divisive amongst audiences. Some thought it was a dark masterpiece with tons of meanings, and a lot of others thought it was really disappointing, and too dark for his own good just to be different from Marvel. The film did well at the box office, but it failed to make $1 billion, which the studio was expecting. Because of how the outcome of this film turned out, this would lead to the ultimate change of tone in this universe, from Suicide Squad onwards, that I'll get into when we get to those movies. But anyways, with the history out of the way, let's get into the plot. The film starts out with Bruce Wayne, played by Ben Affleck in this version, driving through the streets of Metropolis during the final battle of Man of Steel, where Superman and his daughter are demolishing the place, and getting tons of people killed in the process. After seeing the destruction of their lives destroyed because of the event, he deems Superman a threat and wants to stop him, in fear of him one day turning on the human race, through dream sequences he has, and force cameos like the Flash command that totally didn't go nowhere. Anyways, the film cuts to 18 months later where Superman is still heavily criticized by the public for his actions, and he doesn't know what to do but save as many people as he can, as he and Lois are in a relationship now, where she also knows that he's Clark Kent. I guess the glass is doing fuller this time. She goes to a Middle Eastern country for an interview with Jimmy Olsen, who gets killed after putting a tracker in his camera and terrorists finding it, as mercenaries start killing the terrorists as the leader holds Lois hostage. But then Superman comes in and saves the day. But after the mercenaries burn the bodies in the extended edition, Superman is presumed guilty for the murders, which he knows isn't right, and Lois tries to prove it via a bullet that got lodged in the terrorist's journal. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, sees this as an opportunity to try and convince the council, mainly signed under friendship by Holly Hunter, to let him make weapons out of kryptonite, a green rock found in the bottom of the Indian Ocean, from the remains of size ships that could weaken Kryptonian cells. They have a few, but Lex gets it anyway, because he has connections. Bruce is trying to find out what's going on in this situation, where he's investigating to find a white Portuguese, a person he thinks is going to lead the Lex, but it's actually a ship that is carrying the kryptonite. He goes in guns blazing and steals it from the Lex after a couple of attempts, the first being foiled by Superman, who as Clark Kent is trying to investigate the Gotham Bat, which conveniently the two cities are right next to each other, so he goes over and interviews citizens of Gotham in the extended version about the Vigilante, which in this world has been around for 20 years or so, and because of Bruce and his butler Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons in his version, has seen tons of good guys end up falling from grace, they, specifically Bruce, doesn't think that Superman is immune to becoming that as well. So Batman is stopped by Superman and says they to leave the case alone, thinking he's a mass murderer, which he kinda is, to be honest. But secretly, Lex is leading them on a breadcrumb trail to eventually sparring one another, because he somehow knows about both their identities, and on top of that, he also knows other supers as well that are stored in secret files of prison crypts from Lex's party, discovering tons of supers including Diana Prince, played by Gal Gadot, a mysterious woman who steals a dread from Bruce to find a picture of hers. The Bruce later finds some sense to her, which is from World War I. All of the dreads contain the most forced sub in the film, showing footage of the Flash by Ezra Miller surviving a gas station robbery, Saber, played by Ray Fisher, being resurrected via a mother box, and Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa, swinging in his trident, stabbing a camera and swinging away. Meanwhile, Lex also decides it from Superman for the destruction of the Supreme Court building, killing Finch and tons of other people in the process, when he convinces Wally, a man who lost his family and his legs during the destruction of Metropolis, to protest against Superman, but he ends up being a bomb for Lex that just goes off. Batman is pissed at this point, and is ready to fight Superman after obtaining the kryptonite from Lex's place, and makes gas grenades and a spear out of what he finds. Superman finds out Lex's plan, but Lex doesn't respond because his mercenaries, the same people that framed Superman from the murders at the beginning of the film, kidnap Martha and are holding her hostage in a warehouse, and says that if he doesn't kill Batman, they will kill Martha. He goes to Bruce and tries to reason with him, but he's so blind by anger that he immediately starts fighting, as Clark does too. But because of the kryptonite weapons, Bruce manages to outsmart him and almost kill him. But as he's about to be stabbed by a kryptonite spear, he says that saves Martha.
Why did you say that name?
His mom, which is also the name of Bruce's mom. Showing he has a human side too, I guess, if Man of Steel didn't prove that already, as they make up and are allies now, as they decide to stop Lex's plan. Superman goes to Lex as Batman goes to the warehouse and kills all Lex's goons and saves Martha, as Superman gets into the remains of Zod's ship left in the massive tent in Metropolis, as Lex reveals his true plan to kill Superman. Early in the film, he snuck into his ship using Zod's fingerprints, and used his own blood in Zod's body to merge the two into an abomination of a creature known as Doomsday, as it gets born and starts causing destruction, but only in abandoned areas because of writers don't want more controversy, as Superman battles him alongside Batman and Diana, in her gear revealing that she's Wonder Woman, with their lasso, sword, and shield, as they battle him. But it only gets stronger as he gets hit. Superman realizes the only way to kill Doomsday is with the kryptonite spear, so he gets in and stabs Doomsday with it, along with Batman using the last of his gas grenades. But Doomsday stabs Superman in the process as they both get killed. The film ends up with both Clark and Superman's funerals, as Bruce and Diana discuss finding the others like them, because they fear something is coming, as Lex is arrested and put in prison as he goes insane, as the film casts off Lil's putting some dirt over Clark's grave, which starts to rise as credits roll. This film has a lot of ambition to it, and I can see the passion the film put throughout the various scenes. And unlike some of the other films we'll talk about in this universe, it does feel like it has one vision, like Man of Steel. The introduction of Batman and Wonder Woman are done really well, and I like Affleck and Godot in these roles, and it shows the naysayers wrong with how they portray their characters. Along with Jeremy Irons being a fantastic cynical Alfred, and some of the best lines of the whole film.
You're getting slow in your old age, Alfred.
Comes to us all, Master Wayne. Even you got too old to die young, and not for lack of trying. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
The action is vastly improved upon from Man of Steel. It's mostly wide shots and lone tanks, which I enjoy, especially the warehouse fight, which is one of my favorite action set pieces in a superhero film. Chunky XL's score does emphasize the film's tone. I think it brings more personality to the film and does have some good atmospheric and catchy tunes. The CGI is also improved from Man of Steel, looking a lot more sleek and blends up with the scenes a lot better. And the costume design is also great here. Superman's look is a lot more bold. Wonder Woman's is good, although it's not as good as the other films she appears in. And Batman's designs from his regular suit to his robotic armor, I really like. And lastly, I do like the idea where they try to take this story, with answering Man of Steel's biggest complaints, in Superman's destruction and questioning his morals, which would work great for a standalone sequel, but Superman in this movie is kind of treated like garbage in his own movie. Throughout the film, is constantly getting hated on, not given it a chance to breathe, acts inconsistently, with sometimes acting like the Superman we know, and then will be this Homelander like threatening Superman, especially when he tries to talk to Bruce, and after a few seconds tries to kill him. He seems really underdeveloped in this film, and not like the Superman we got from the end of Man of Steel. He seems a lot more jaded, and when he dies, I felt nothing. I understand why Warner Bros. Doesn't want to use Henry Cavill anymore, because what can you do after killing him to raise the stakes? Nothing. It feels so cheap to play that card and to get an emotional reaction when we've only known his character for 2 films. Another big rub is with Batman. He's mostly good in here, but the main thing that brings him down for being great is how much of a hypocrite he is. He does about Superman being a mass murderer, and he's a threat to those around him, but then you see Batman kill goons left and right unceremoniously. I'm more for a Batman with different morals, but it doesn't work for the story. Another major issue is how overstuffed the film is. This is a stepping stone movie through and through. If the film just focused on Batman and Superman, this film would be way better from a storytelling and pacing standpoint, but when the film forces Justice League cameos, other characters that amount to nothing like Senator Finch, or having Lois walk around for no reason like in the final battle, but because she's Amy Adams they need to use her, Lex's storyline, Doomsday, Wonder Woman, it all feels so packed in a bad way, and the film can really drag at times because of it. And on top of that, the look of the film like Man of Steel, it's just ugly. The whole film is gray and bleak and isn't pleasant to look at. Nothing but these scenes stand out visually and everything just kind of blends together as a result. Well, let's talk about the worst aspect of the film, Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg, he's a great actor in the right role, and I respect Snyder and Goyer for doing something different with his character, but this version of Lex is just terrible. Eisenberg tries to overact like he's in the Tarantino film, but it fails on so many levels. His dialogue tries to be threatening, but you take one look at this guy and it's almost laughable how irresponsible and childish he is. Lex Luthor is supposed to be a subdued, collected professional, and here he's basically the Joker. It doesn't work for the film at all. Along with this character somehow managing to pull the strings, and knowing the identity of Batman and Superman and the entire Justice League without any explanation, and he puts so much trust into this plan that makes no sense by creating Doomsday, which what would happen if Doomsday killed all 3 of our heroes? He would destroy the whole world, and what would Lex benefit from that? This character is so bad, and it's mainly the reason why this film isn't as good as it should be, because this character is so vital to the story. Overall, it's just a mess of a film. Overall, Batman vs Superman is a very flawed mess in my opinion. There are elements that work, like the acting for the most part, some of the direction, the introduction of Batman and Wonder Woman, some elements improved upon from Man of Steel, and a couple of other things that made it semi-enjoyable at parts, but this one's a stepping stone that shows why you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. This film tries to set up a whole universe and fails at it badly, which watching this post-Justice League means nothing now, with how radically different the landscape is. All of our side characters, villains, plot holes, bad cinematography, undermining Superman, it's just too many cooks in the kitchen. They try and make this as epic as possible. And because this is a start of a universe and not something like Civil War, which yes, I am going to compare these movies because they came out in the same season, is that film already had a universe planned out and didn't have to worry about setting up anything apart from Black Panther and Spider-Man, which were both handled excellently. This film just can't balance all these tones and characters. If the film just focused on like title characters and their struggles with one another, this could have been so much better. But because these two characters are not that important in the grand scheme of things, and only have a couple of encounters before one even to find an abandoned building, and then immediately become friends, that's forced character development. So with the rambling aside, this is a disappointment on every level for being a sequel to Man of Steel, being a balanced movie, a Justice League set of film, pleasing the crowds as a dumb blockbuster because of how slow and dark the film is. It wasn't even that big of a financial hit. If a standalone Aquaman film and an R-rated Joker film can make more money than a film featuring two of the most recognizable superheroes of all time, you probably need to rethink your strategy, which Warner Bros. Ended up doing. But anyways, as a whole, this isn't just a mediocre film looking back on it, because of all this that they could have done and what it actually ended up being. It's just not a good film. I give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice a C-, a 4 out of 10, and a skip a recommendation. And if you're wondering my thoughts on the extended edition, it is a better version of this film, with a few plot holes and scenes added that are necessary to the story. But unlike other director's cuts, this film doesn't cut out anything from the theatrical cut, so you still get all the issues, but only slightly better. I still wouldn't recommend it in my opinion. So that's Batman v Superman. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I'm CBMF Productions, and this isn't the last DC film to review, because justice needs to be served.